name is Sally Brooks, and I wanted to give you kind of an origin story of why I started Quilts for Democracy. I ran for office for House District 118 in Missouri 2 years ago, 2022. And as many of you probably know, Missouri is considered a very red state. So a Democrat running for office was on a wing and a prayer, especially in 2022. There is some hope for this year because we have so many more Democrats running. So in Missouri, it's hard to get your footing because the Democratic Party has been in disarray, had been in disarray for so many years. They've really got their stuff together this year and going forward. So that is good. And I was kind of despairing because I could get a few of my family members, a few of my friends to make some nominal donations, what they could afford, but I just couldn't, I'd call and I'd reach out and I'd get no's, and I keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. And finally the guy that was doing my graphics for me for for my campaign said, well, I see that you quilt, why don't you just make quilts and raffle them off to raise money for, your campaign. So on top of my 40-hour week, 40-hour job, 40 full-time job that I had, and the full-time job of campaigning, I went ahead and made some quilts and had some that I had stashed and started raffling those things off. I can't even remember how many that I made during that 2022 campaign year, but it helped raise money. Someone told me, you're only going to be successful, start to be successful if you can raise $50,000. And I raised $17,000. So you can well imagine how the polls turned out for me. I got about 28 to 30% in that range. So, but it got me to thinking. I knew once we came around to the next election cycle that I probably wasn't going to run again. It was just too much for me to support my family with my full-time job and do campaigning. It's really a tough thing to do. And so I decided to help other candidates with quilts. And that's what Quilts for Democracy is. My stepmother, who is also a quilter, passed away in January. And probably I inherited anywhere from 15 to 20 quilts from her. Many of them were unfinished. So me and a friend or two got together and started finishing these quilts, and by the end of it, there were 18 quilts. Some of them we made from scratch. Most of them came from my stepmom's, inheritance to me. And by the way, she was a Trump supporter. And they went to Democratic candidates, that we supported in our area or in our state, and to help them raise money, because we understand one of the other quilters was a former candidate as well. She ran twice and wanted to help. She had some sewing skills, and turns out she's quite the proficient quilter. So we made quilts, we donated them, and they raffled them off. And one of them we had several of them make over $1,000 for those candidates. That we now have more funding situations in Missouri, like Blue Missouri has really taken off. Now that Jess Piper, who ran with me the same year, took over that for Missouri and helps your down ballot candidates too. But we were hoping to just, they don't usually get that till after the primary, so we try to get them money right away with the quilts and a raffle and something that they can work with. So that's basically the origin story of Quilts for Democracy. We're going to be doing it every 2 years. So as you can see, I've got the next quilt. We're already making quilts for the 2026. And this beautiful, as you can see, it's kind of fireworks and glittery and red, white, and blue. Going to have some more quilts for the 2026 season. If you'd like to help, there will be more information forthcoming as the 2026 election season rolls around. Until then, if you're on Facebook, please go and support. It's a public-facing group called Quilts for Democracy, and then a dash Missouri. And we still have 3 candidates out there that have not had their drawing. Well, actually 1. 2 of them should have had it yesterday on the 27th of October. Today's the 28th. And then there will be one in November, in early November. So there's still quilts out there to be won. If you want to get in on supporting some of our candidates in Missouri, we would really appreciate your support. And see you at the long arm